I hate exaggerations and I really hate when I fall into them, but I must say that this movie will not only be the best comedy of the year, but it's also an instant modern classic. Hello, how's it going? Thank you so much for playing this video where we'll talk about Hitman, a film by Richard Linklater with a screenplay written by him and the film's star, Glen Powell.
Hi, I'm Richard Linklater. I directed the movie Hitman, co-wrote it, produced it, all that stuff.
Richard Linklater has stood out for having a filmography that shows a more down-to-earth America. Setting aside the Before trilogy and some films like Waking Life, the director constantly explores, always optimistically, groups moving within American society. The reckless youth in Slacker, Dazed and Confused, Suburbia, Everybody Wants Some, the reality check and disappointment of adulthood in School of Rock, Last Flag Flying, Where'd You Go, Bernadette, even the passage of time in Boyhood, and the recent Apollo 10.5, A Space Age Childhood. With his new movie, Hitman, under a very comedic tone, he points out, among other things, the intolerant and dangerous political moment his country is experiencing. But it's also a romantic comedy that shows us how important and necessary it is to take risks in life. What's it about? Gary Johnson, Glen Powell, is a psychology professor at the University of New Orleans who lives a very square and lonely life. He has no friends or girlfriend and spends his time building tech gadgets, teaching classes, and dining alone with his cats. His only real distraction is a part-time job with the police, where he assists with listening devices for a team that catches people trying to hire a hitman. One day, Jasper, the undercover cop, gets suspended. However, the job must go on, and Gary is chosen to step in. With little choice, and quite nervously, he accepts the challenge. Although the protagonist is far from being the right person for the job, as soon as he interacts with the suspect, he changes drastically. He transforms, and with lots of attitude and charisma, he manages to complete the mission. Soon enough, he becomes an expert in the field. Even when Jasper returns to action, he is removed from his position. Everything is going great for Gary until he meets Maddie, Adria Arjona, a woman who wants to kill her husband. They have magical chemistry from the first moment, which eventually turns into a big problem. In the movie Hitman, Gary is a strange guy because he never really takes a stand on anything. He only takes action when he's in the character required for each mission. He's the typical person who believes that by doing the right things, everything should turn out fine, which is why he keeps going. The movie literally begins with a quote from Nietzsche: "The secret of the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment of existence is to live dangerously," the perfect omen for what's to come in his life. Under a rather original story, but one where we all know from the first minute how it's going to end, Linklater also paints a picture of what's happening in America today. On one hand, who without much thought decide who to eliminate, and groups that choose to watch everything from afar. The heart of the movie ends up being Glen Powell, who is also the screenwriter. The actor who could easily be just another pretty face in Hollywood seems to want to take bigger risks. He's a total success in the film. Adria Arjona, who's shown in the acclaimed Star Wars series Andor, is also very good. They both convey a very passionate and crazy journey that makes the whole story very dynamic. It's worth noting that they are responsible for one of the best scenes of the year. Finally, the movie Hitman is a very funny story. Conversations, jokes, and current situations that work for the audience at all times. Linklater, without falling into a cruder rhetoric like Sean Baker, a great director when it comes to showing the B-side of America, manages to tell exactly what he wants. A great example of the same style, but told through different challenges. If this movie had been released in the 80s, it would already be completely embedded in our daily lives. This was my review of Hitman. I hope you liked it, and thank you very much for staying until this part of the video. If you want and can, it would help us a lot if you leave us a like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep making videos like this.